Okay, folks, welcome to Market Wrap. It is May the 31st, and let's kick things off with economic data that was released today. Overall, strong. Personal spending came in as expected. PCE prices at the core came in as expected. Case-Shiller home sales beat. Consumer confidence beat. Chicago PMI Purchasing Managers Index came in with a miss. So the story of the day was really personal spending, and it was hot. The market had expected a 0.7% increase. It came in with a beat of 1%. Now, 1 month doesn't make a trend, but the fact that this number was hot, you had a beat on the Case-Shiller number, which is the 20-city home price index, so a measure of real estate, the price of real estate. And what the markets rallied on today was, yes, economic growth, but the dollar surged as well as gold at the same time. So what you can extrapolate from that, trade is inflation. That's the proximate cause. Before I get to the charts of the dollar and gold, let's go over the major averages. The NASDAQ composite. Bullish key reversal today, up over 1/4 percentage point on very, very nice volume. So the NASDAQ is going to continue higher. Dow Industrials daily chart. Not quite a bearish key reversal, but definitely a bullish engulfing of Friday's move. Volume was slightly below average. So watch the Dow Jones to see whether or not it can hold on to the 50-period moving average. If that fails, it must hold on to this support level, the prior upper band of resistance, while we're in this bull flag formation. If it breaks back down into this formation, breakout point failure, we're going all the way down to this lower band at, let's call it 17,100. Too early to make that call just yet. S&P 500 daily chart, down day. We closed well off the lows of the day. Volume slightly below average. So the large caps got hit hard today. Why? The dollar. The dollar is moving higher, folks, and that is putting pressure on the multinationals. The small caps were higher. Micro caps were higher. The NASDAQ comp names were higher. The large caps got hit. The dollar is starting to take a toll. IWM, the Russell 2000. We added to shorts today. Why? Well, first let's talk about the daily chart. We were trading up and around the 115.75 level, 115.50, which acted as resistance back here. So you have a lot of overhead supply. Now, when you take a look at the 2-hour chart, take a look at the price action. We rallied up and into the prior lower band of the rising uptrend channel on the IWM. It had broken down on May the 4th. Pulled back all the way down to 107.99. It's rallied back. What was prior support should now act as resistance. And it blew through it, pulled back. We were trading below this lower band of support. It did rally back in the final minutes of trade. This is why I always say wait till the final minutes of trade to execute a trade. But I wanted to get the alert out. We are trading right at critical support for the IWM. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see it roll over tomorrow morning. Volume into the close was very high to the downside. Possible double top on ADX green. And if I didn't mention it, going back to the daily chart, we are trading above the 2 standard deviation Bollinger in very close proximity to the 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band with a topping tail. So that tells us that we have some sellers that are taking profits. Does that mean that the rally is dead? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means that we're due for a pullback. And let's see, hopefully, if we can get more than simply a pullback. The 10-year yield. All right, so the dollar rallied on inflation worries. The expectation being that the Federal Reserve is going to have to move on rates. Gold rallied, as did the gold mining names, yet the 10-year yield closed down. So what this is telling me is that the 10-year yield or the bond market still doesn't believe that Janet Yellen is going to move on yields yet. They are not convinced. They are not sold. And if they do not move on rates, you are going to see gold rip through the ceiling. Gold, platinum. I'll get to platinum in a moment. What a day that was for platinum. Silver, which was down today, I believe. They are going to rip through the ceiling if they do not raise rates in June or July. The U.S. dollar. This is a weekly chart. We are now nearing, very, very close, the upper band of resistance on the U.S. dollar. There is still room to go before we hit it. We did see a surge in the UUP into the close today. That's the bull ETF of the U.S. dollar. And that caused gold and the gold mining names to pull back off of their highs of the day. Stocks that we're watching, NSP, broke out today above the upper band of resistance. I like it as a long. Yes, I know we were short of it here, but it was because it was overbought. We took advantage of an unsustainable overbought condition. I now like it as a long. Just use a stop loss right below the day's lows. If it breaks back down into this trading range, it's a short. So we'll keep an eye on NSP. Right now, I like it as a long because it's a continuation breakout. Volume, strong. You can't ignore it. I am worried about the ultimate oscillator. Note the lower highs. This could be a setup, a double bottom setup on ultimate oscillator. That's what I'm looking out for. So a warning flag is on the track for NSP and its breakout today. But overall, I think that the stock has been behaving well. I don't see a reason for it to stop behaving well. I like it as a long, if I didn't say that 5 times already. TNA. I spoke about this one over the weekend as a possible long. I mentioned my concerns. So while, yes, we did get the continuation move higher as I expected, it was stopped dead right where I was concerned that it would get stopped dead, right at the declining 50-period moving average on a weekly basis. This is a heavy lift to get through. So I don't think it's going to do it in one foul swoop. It's a process. So we may get a pullback, maybe for a week or two, and then a continuation move higher. So the TNA, I am not enamored with right now. Had we had a pullback this morning, daily chart, had we had a pullback this morning, giving us an opportunity to get long, I may have jumped on board, but it didn't happen. They moved it higher. We have a doji star formation. So a sign of indecision between bulls and bears on heavy volume. Can the shares move higher? Sure they can. But I would not be a buyer. I would not chase them. The 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band is in very close proximity. Be careful, folks. The Stokes are still looking really good. 15-minute chart. We topped out at 65.06, pulled back, lower high. If we break down below 63.36, you're going to see a correction on the TNA, the small caps, etc. So I will not chase TNA. Francesca's Holdings. This is one I discussed over the weekend as well. Have been discussing it. Bearish key reversal day. Remember over the weekend I mentioned you had topping action. And that topping action was keeping me on the sidelines. So what I like to see is another rollover on the Stokes and a double bottom setup. Hopefully we pull back on price and retest $10 per share and put in a lower high with the prior low being $9.82. If we get a new low at $10 per share, then we're forming a nice base. I would also like to see this 50-period moving average, which is definitely going to cross below the 200-period moving average, just occur, get it out of the way, and then I would expect to see a rally after that bearish divergence occurs. Gold. All right, we found support at 1,200. Remember over the weekend, I said watch 1,200. It hit 1,199 over in Tokyo on the 30th. Expected to hit 1,200. What was the low of the day? 1201.50. So a very good day for gold, especially in light of the U.S. dollar rallying today and gold finishing higher. Good stuff. XLV, weekly chart. We are breaking out on the XLV this week. We're going to keep a close eye on it. We'll eyeball Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe we'll open up a position. Let's go to a daily chart. I think it moves higher. XLV looking good. A little bit tight up against the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. So as always, we would want to leg into a position. Buy in increments. PEIX, Pacific Ethanol. All right, so we're overbought. We're tapping. We're flirting with the 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band. It's going to pull back. That pullback is going to be our opportunity to get involved. Watch your Stokes. Pulling back, poised to hook up. We want a snapback on PEIX. Alleviate this overbought condition. That's our opportunity to get involved to the long side. Volume strong today. Volume has been good. Possible double top here on ADX green and double bottom in red. That's bearish. So let's take a little bit of the pressure off of these shares. Then we'll get in on that pullback. CNQ, Canadian Natural Resources. We're getting the pullback we had hoped for. Ideally, we pull back and retest this prior breakout point. Then we can look to get involved. Not until then. Bearish key reversal today. Volume was light. No breakout yet on Ultimate Oscillator. We had a cup with handle formation forming. It's not following through. So CNQ remains a watch. Platinum Metals Group, a perfect bullish key reversal. If you're not long and you wanted to get long, today was your day. Trending higher in Ultimate Oscillator. The chart is looking very good. We broke out today on Williams Percentage R. Would like to have seen volume higher, but I think we move higher from here. Potash, daily chart. We broke down below this very weak uptrend. I'm not going to fret too much about it, but I'm not going to add either. Volume rose to above average. I still think we have some downside potential here. Maybe a retest of the $16 level. We're weakening on the Williams. We are weakening on the slow Stokes, lower highs. So I'm not going to add more just yet. I need to see relative strength. Let's take a look at a 2-hour chart. Yeah, no reason to buy these shares just yet, folks. We'll just sit, watch, and wait. Wait for strength. Nugget. Daily chart closed off the highs of the day. Why? The dollar rallied into the close. So we are at resistance. We had a nice retest of support. We're beginning to base on the Stokes. Still too early to get involved just yet. Let's go to a 1-hour chart because I referenced it over the weekend. And take note, overlaid here in green is the U.S. dollar. Note the surge in the U.S. dollar, and Nugget just couldn't hold its mud. So what I think is going to happen here, we're going to pull back. We're going to retest $70 per share. That's fine with me. Think about selling covered calls. I would stick with the weekly covered calls, and I wouldn't go too far out. I would just trade each Friday. Go no more than 1 week out on covered calls with NUGT. Mobiron, MOBL, broke out. Huge today. What were we up? 11.49%. So a nice move higher. We'll remain long. It's a bit overbought. We might pull back. If we bull flag out, we'll add more. Good volume. Really good volume. The chart looks really pretty. So Mobiron, a very nice day today. It did close off the highs of the day. It was expected. Expected consolidation. There'll be plenty of time to build a position on MOBL. USLV, weekly chart. We pulled back. We closed down today. I was surprised. Down 58 cents. will remain long. Let's take a look at the daily chart, see whether or not there's any opportunity here. Oofa. No, it broke down below the lower band of this bull flag formation. It closed right at support. All right, so I wouldn't go adding more to USLV just yet. Let it consolidate, let it base. A lot of economic data out this week. If it really comes out inflationary, expect gold to surge. Expect silver to surge. All right, focus stock for the remainder of the week is going to be NVIDIA. Monthly chart, huge breakout. You may be thinking he wants to buy it. No, I want to short it. And just as we did with NSP, only for a couple of days, in and out. We leg in and we just get out. We take our pound of flesh. Now, monthly chart, we have no overhead supply. So we have no indicator that could tell us where we might expect to see selling. However, we closed out the month leaning into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. If you go back in history, that has not boded well for the shares in the past. Take a look at back here in January of 11. We did proceed higher into February, but then we collapsed. And you have other instances going back through 07, even back in 2000. So let's drill down now. Let's take a look at the daily chart. What are we looking for? All right, so RSI is at current 85.76. I want 90 on RSI. I want to see the shares blow through this upper band of resistance at this ever-narrowing ascending wedge formation. Volume remains, let's call it average. These shares are heavily shorted, and I don't want to be a victim of a short squeeze. 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart, I'm expecting to move higher. I'm expecting it to break through this upper band of resistance and through the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. On that breakout, up and through, I am going to open up a short position on NVDA. And hopefully RSI will be at or near 90 on NVIDIA. So that's the game plan for tomorrow. Before I sign off, I want to go over two charts. Special request for Chris, which is Facebook. All right, so Facebook was down today. It underperformed the NASDAQ. I also want to point out, we'll come back to this chart, and I'd even go over the SQQQ. The triple Qs were down at one point today. They did manage to recapture a gain on the day, and I still think that there's more upside potential here. Volume is very light. Back to Facebook. So Facebook is possibly putting in a lower high. Let's go to a 2-hour chart. I would be a buyer of Facebook on a close above 121.08. I'll keep it simple. If we get a close above 121.08, I would be a buyer at that level. We had a nice close today. We reversed off the 50-period moving average, implying that we may move higher in the morning. Volume was good into the close. So we may get a pop higher on Wednesday. And that's it for tonight, folks. Just remember, tomorrow, a lot of economic data, not just tomorrow either, for the remainder of the week. Please keep an eye on the news in the morning. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Be well.